Hey guys, what's up? Kardaka here, and today I'm here with another deck profile. This round we'll be doing another Final Rush deck. Actually, I think this is the first one I posted on this channel. This is the 2.0 version of the build, and it is using the support from A Brush with the Legends. So this deck is really good now with the new support. So without further ado, let's get right into the deck profile. So the right line is just the basic Violence Bruce right line with Richard and Steve. Not much to talk about there. It's pretty standard for this build. Next we have, for the grade 3s, we have 3 Violence Bruce. Obviously you want to Persona Ride because your Final Rush turns will be that much stronger when you do. Next we're running 4 Marjorie. So this card is the main Soul Charge card I have in this deck. I do not run this, so Soul Charging is a bit slower without Marjorie. And after playtesting with the deck a lot, I realized that you kind of don't have space to run this. I know some builds do run it, but personally for my build, I don't really know what else to cut out. So yeah, that's my choice for the grade 3s. So Marjorie's also really good at buffing herself and giving you some draw power as well as the Soul Charge. So overall, she's pretty good. Next, we have the new MVP of the deck. We have Lenard, 4 Lenards. So this card is really good. Obviously, if you do hit and attack a column, if both of them hit, you can get a fresh new column out on the board. Provided you do the combo, you will. There is strategic thinking needed in this deck. So without further ado, I'll also do a combo at the end of the video. But yeah, he also helps you Soul Charge when you do hit, so that's pretty nice. Next, we are running 3 Edens. So Eden is here for some crit pressure and also some on hit pressure. So being able to retire something is pretty good. There's some decks that can't really afford it right now, so being able to retire units on hit is pretty good. And of course, getting the extra crit is pretty nice. It's also pretty nice that these 2 guys also get plus 5k when you're in Final Rush. So even if you don't Persona Ride or have Hell Dives, you still can attack a Vanguard by itself. Although of course, it won't be as strong, but pretty good nonetheless. I only have space for 3 Edens, so I'll keep it at that for now. I was running 4 and I did like it at 4, but there were some options that I couldn't run when I wanted to, so I decided to put him at 3. Next, we're running 2 Mabels. Now Mabel is the card that I am only running because it's Mabel. Originally it was this instead, just because getting this Soul Charge is kind of more reliable, but Mabel giving you the extra drive check is also really good, especially on your Final Rush turns. Getting the extra chance to get a trigger will definitely help you win games, and having extra cards in your hand to help you live a bit longer is also pretty nice. So overall, she's not bad. You don't need that many of her. You need 2 because she only works behind Vanguard. So I think, yeah, 2 is fine, and there's ways to get her back in case you put her in her soul previously, so that's alright. Next, we are running 4 Protobulbs. Protobulb is extremely important in this deck, mainly because you need the Protobulb to suck something in the front row for when your Lenard attacks. When you're reading into stuff and your opponent, if you think your opponent can guard your attacks, obviously don't suck something in because you might not be able to get full advantage of the Final Rush. But for the most part, Protobulb is a good card and helps you grab some stuff that you need in your soul. So overall, I really do like Protobulbs. This was the card that I was debating running 3 of or 4 of, and I think running him in 4 is definitely a lot more consistent. So there's that. Next, we're running Gear Dober. So Gear Dober is a new card from BT2, and it's really good. Basically, it just gives one of your units at the end of battle. It boosted. Give one of your units that are Final Rush If you're in front of rush, you can put this in your soul and choose one of your units and get plus 10k. So you can give it to Edens and stuff for some extra power. Overall, we like it. He also frees up some space. So yeah, it's just a good card. You might want to run him at 3 if you want to, so you can make space for some other stuff. But I think 3, you kind of want to draw into it, and the extra 10k he gives is very useful, especially on turns that you are unable to Hell Dive or Persona Ride. So getting as much power as you can is definitely very much appreciated. Next, we're running 4 Purple Guards. Pretty self-explanatory for these. Next, we're running 3 Hell Dives. You might want to run it at 4. You might want to take out a Geardober or Protobulb, or even take out an Eden for it. But I personally like it at 3. I haven't had too much problem Persona riding or drawing into this, so I'm currently just running 3 for now. But if I play Hezza with this deck quite a bit, but so far haven't had too much problem. But this card is really good. It is definitely one of the best cards in the deck right now. So yeah, there's that. Let's go on with the triggers. So we're running the Create Elemental trigger, just because giving 2 units plus that extra power is pretty good. 100 million is definitely really good. Definitely better than the other over trigger. Mainly giving your Fangor the extra power isn't that great in this build. It might be better in Barrow Magnus, but in the Violence Boost build, I think running the Create Elemental trigger is definitely the way to go. Next, we are running 7 crits. So we're running 7 crits because we want to make space for the new fronts. This card is good, helps you guard for attacks a lot easier. So there's that, and we're running 4 heals, obviously. So this deck, it's a good deck. I think it's one of the top decks right now, alongside Bastion. Just mainly because this deck is not really scared of getting Counterblast denied. Of course, you might not be able to make your plays as easily, but for the most part, this deck doesn't really need Counterblast in general. There's a lot of your key cards don't require you to do Counterblast, like Lenard doesn't need Counterblast, Marjorie doesn't require Counterblast, the Geardobers don't require Counterblast, and of course, Bruce does not require Counterblast. The only thing that really do need Counterblast is your Protobulbs, Mabels, perhaps your unhit Edens, and Hell Dives. So if you are choked for Counterblast, you're going to have to prioritize what is more important in that turn. For example, if you Persona Road, then you might not want to use Hell Dive, and perhaps have the Protobulb, use a Protobulb with Lenard instead, just so that you can suck that card in, and if you hit, you can call it back out again. So what you might want to do, for example, is have this. There's going to be cards that you don't really use. For example, Marjorie, obviously she can attack and give the extra power, but just sometimes you might need to commit something from your hand that's not super useful. Usually you might have a Mabel that you might not want to use. So, for example, you might attack with this first, attack with these first, suck this in with Marjorie, Marjorie's skill, so that you get the extra 10k, and you also get a draw card and soul charge. And then at the end of the battle, it goes back into soul. Then you're probably going to give the extra 10k to the Lenard, just so they can ensure that at least one attack goes through. So then you're going to attack the Lenard, use Protobulb skill to suck her in, and then when you hit, you can call stuff back out. Maybe something like this. So if both units hit, then that's going to be delicious. So you still haven't attacked yet. So you're going to attack with this. You might suck your Proto Bulb in order to use Marjorie's skill to get extra 10k again. So by herself, if your Persona wrote this turn, you are already swinging for 33, and your Lenard was swinging for 25, along with the Proto Bulb, so that's also 33. So that's and you haven't attacked with Vanguard yet either. So you're gonna attack again with this, and then you're probably gonna suck this in, and perhaps give your power to Marjorie this time. So this is just so you can pump her up even a bit more. And then you're gonna attack with your Bruce and Soul Blast 5 to restand them. And then you can attack with Bruce. Yeah, attack with Bruce, you restand them. And then you're gonna attack with Lenard. Of course, you attack the whole column, so it'll include their booster if they have one. Usually, decks won't. They won't put stuff behind their Vanguard for a boost now, because Lenard is kind of a meta-defining card. So if you hit, that's great. If you don't hit, that's fine. And then you attack with this. So overall, this deck does get a lot of really high number attacks in, and it's also very quality attacks. Given that you do Persona Ride, and if your Lenard does hit though, and you have extra soul, then you can, call something out. But yeah, overall the deck is very, very good. It's very, very fun, and it feels a lot like Pale Moon. Like, this deck feels a lot like playing Pale Moon, and that's why I love. Because you guys didn't know, Pale Moon was my favorite clans in Vanguard. So having a Spike Bro like clan that plays like Pale Moon is good enough for me, and especially Marjorie does look like a Pale Moon unit, so that's a pass. But that's pretty much it for this video, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know if you have some questions. Of course, this is not like the most optimal build. Optimal is kind of subjective depending on who you're playing against and what kind of meta you have at your locals or area. But this is kind of like a skeleton that I think that works pretty well with me. But yeah, these are some of the other cards that I have tested with, like Extra Edens. I forgot his name. Jared, yes, Jared. Jared helps you push for early game, which I think I see why people would run it, but I really don't have space for it. And Gear Colossus, it's nice because you can potentially reuse his effect, but it does, if you do that, it does eat up Counterblast. But it is nice to have a 28k beater by itself, so you can consider this card. And of course, there's a card the Soul Charge option that we have, Acrobat Presenter. So yeah, these are some options. That's pretty much it for this build, guys. If you guys want to support the channel, make sure to use some affiliate links down below. I believe by the time this video is out, A Brush with the Legends is out in English, so you can use my affiliate link down below to buy singles off TCG Player. But that's pretty much it for this video, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure to like and subscribe for more Cardfight Vanguard content. This is Card Otaku, and I'll see you guys next time.